Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States. Welcome to Wheaton, Maryland. Now, the United States is filled with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands perhaps, of small towns that nobody's ever heard of. And the metropolitan areas, the dozens and dozens of large metropolitan areas, are filled with little suburbs, cities unto themselves, which also nobody's ever heard of. And Wheaton, I think, is probably one of those places. Unless you're from this area, it's probably something you've never heard of. I certainly never had until I moved to this area. And there's nothing particularly spectacular about Wheaton. Wheaton is a community. It's a very densely populated area. Lots of shops, lots of businesses. There's a mall here. Lots of population, apartments and houses and all kinds of things you'd expect in a community, but nothing particularly spectacular about it. People live here, they work here, they carry out their lives here. It's not a touristy place. It's a commerce center. It's in southern Maryland, just north 4 miles, 5 miles, I don't know, north of the 495, which is the commonly called the Beltway around Washington, D.C. And so this is another bedroom community to the greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. But there is one thing here that is truly unique on this side of the planet. And I'm going to show you that. So welcome to Wheaton Station. This is the stop on the Washington Metro here in the community of Wheaton. I'm standing here by this beautiful bronze statue. Now this is the commuter. This was part of the Washington Metro's Art in Transit program. This is by Marcia F. Billing in 1994. She's apparently the sculptor, the artist who created this statue. And you can see here a classic, although 1950s looking individual hustling off to catch the train as a commuter to make it to and from work. And I will tell you that people on the metro system here in the DC area do hustle. They're always running up the escalators, always in a hurry, which I guess is okay, but it's not typical of other metropolitan areas I've been around the country. Everybody in DC seems to be in a very big hurry to get to work. Now, this is the entrance to Wheaton Station. It's a rather nondescript looking entrance, all poured concrete. It goes into a tunnel because in this part of the system, the metro runs underground, way underground. So this is what we brought you here to show you. This is the Wheaton Station escalator. Now, the escalator here at Wheaton Station, I'm like, really? You brought me to show me an escalator? Yes, I did. And the reason I did is because this is, in fact, the longest single-span escalator in the Western Hemisphere, this side of the Earth. It is absolutely the longest single-span escalator there is on our side of the planet. It has a rise of 230 feet. Correction, it has a length of 230 feet. Okay? Now, I'm told that it takes 2 minutes and 45 seconds to make this ride. So we're going to put the timer here on the screen, and we're going to see how close to accurate that is. Come on, let's jump on the escalator and have a look. Okay, Bev, are you ready?
I hope so.
Because I'm going to start the timer as I step on to the escalator, and here's hoping we all don't fall on our heads. Go. So I can't really tell what shot Beverly's seeing, but I know from previous experience that looking straight up or straight down this escalator is a very disorienting sort of effect, because it's going, it's going down on about, a 45-degree angle. Very, very steep incline. It's not quite as loud as it was last time I was in here, Seems like they've lubricated this or something. This must be a massive, massive, difficult thing to maintain, because if anything breaks down, you have all this weight of the stairs both under and over, this whole loop that has to be dealt with when you go in to make a repair. Now, as I go down and I'm looking straight up, it looks very much, and we'll show you the ride back up, that it looks like I'm looking straight up a silo, but I'm sure looking down, you can see it looks almost like we're looking straight down a silo, but the effect, at least to the human eye when I'm standing here, is it looks like I'm looking right straight up, vertically. So, anyway, this is why I said that the metro in this area is underground, way underground. And in fact, this isn't the deepest of the sites on the metro line. Actually, the one stop or two stops just south of us, Forest Glen, is actually the deepest. I'll put the depth here on the screen, but it's so deep they don't have escalators. They actually use high-speed elevators. So you can see from the chronometer, we've been at this, I don't know, about halfway or so, and we are still not there. And I have to keep talking the entire time that I'm on this escalator. And I've got somebody coming down, they're walking down the escalator as it moves up behind us. But that's okay, because we'll probably meet the bottom just about the time they get here. It's still quite warm in here. I would have thought, you know, right now it's July, it's extremely hot. We wanted to do this episode in the warm weather to kind of escape the heat. It was something nice we could do, but yet it's still very warm in here. Now there is ventilation down here, the forest area in here to ventilate this, of course. It's not just the natural air, because you'd never get airflow down here otherwise, but it's still quite warm in here. I have been here in the winter, and it's still warm, so it's warm down this deep. And look at folks, I don't know what the chronometer is saying right now, because obviously I'm still filming, but we're getting very close to the end. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, and I'm off. Now let's see if we can get Bev off without her taking a nosedive. Look at that, woman's a pro. So this is the Wheaton platform, and it's, I don't know if it's unique, but it's almost unique. Is that a thing? Because the outbound and inbound tunnels are separate. In much of the metro system here in Washington, D.C., the tunnels, it's one huge tunnel with the tracks running side by side. But here at Wheaton, they actually have one tunnel for the outbound train and a separate tunnel, so the span is they're a little bit further apart. Now I don't know what the microphone's picking up. This is the southbound track, if you will, that's going to go in towards Washington, D.C., or into Washington, D.C. This is the red line. But you can see it's quite a bit quieter as you step away from those escalators, and like I said, they're quieter than normal. They make a lot of noise. Anyway, folks, that is the city of Wheaton and Wheaton Station with the longest escalator, single-span escalator in the Western Hemisphere. So, yeah, when it gets hot, you get desperate to make a video that isn't going to fry your coconut. So, I'm sorry if this isn't the most interesting topic in the world, but I thought it was kind of cool, if for no other reason than it is, well, the longest. Anytime you can get something that's the biggest, the smallest, the longest, the shortest, whatever, it makes for kind of an interesting topic of conversation. Okay, so I said we'd show you the ride back up, and this is going to be interesting because Bev has to back onto the escalator first. So go ahead, Bev. Oh, actually, that's not true, because we want to get the view looking up the escalator, so you get the rather unflattering view of me looking up at me. This is, like I said, I don't know what the camera does, but to the human eye, it's very, very strange. It looks like you're looking almost right straight up, and certainly the longer you stand here and continue to look, the more vertical it appears to become. It's an optical illusion. Hey, I just caught a breeze. There's a gust of air. Must be a train coming in. As the trains come in, obviously they push a lot of air through the tunnels in front of them. So as the train comes in, you get this big gust of cool air from underground. That is really nice because it's hot, folks. And I mean, it's hot outside. It's 95, 98. It's hot. Whoa. Yeah, this turning back from the camera to look up or vice versa is a little disorienting. And this is not a place where I'd really want to lose my balance. I have a fairly good sense of balance, but this can be a little disorienting because of the angle and because of the round contour and the lighting and the fact that I'm just an old man who's not Bev's shaking like a leaf. I'm sorry, folks, if this is getting a little wiggly. Hopefully that gyroscopic stabilizer is working because she's trying to balance that with one hand so she doesn't lose her shit and fall down the escalator. But I'm okay. All sense of seriousness, folks, just went out the window. We now are just having fun.
Try to hold this camera up with one hand steady for 3 minutes.
Yeah, Bev's only, about 5 foot tall, and she's holding this kilogram camera up in the air for, long periods of time. She's pretty tough, though. I have faith in you, dear.
I best I can. Sorry, it was shaky. I've given all I got.
Now, there are speakers along the walls in case they have to make announcements so people, even in the tunnel here of the escalator, can hear it. All the lighting, interestingly enough, is along the sides of the escalators. There's no overhead lighting. It's kind of a eerie effect, I suppose. But if you do this all the time, and Bev's signaling me that I'm about to die, so okay. And let's see if the timing is any different on the rise versus going down. And 3, 2, 1, and I'm off. I know, you've always suspected that, haven't you, folks? That Paul's just a little off. So.
Okay, no more shaky camera. I got 2 hands now.
We're good to go now. So that was the ride down and the ride back up. So thanks a lot for joining us. If you got questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I try to get back to everybody I can. If you haven't already, pick subscribe. Come along for the adventure. We love having everybody with us. And as always, thank you for watching.